So unfortunately, I did a video and then I didn't realize that the audio was not recording. So that is my fault. So appreciate if you drop a like, comment, and subscribe. And you've already clicked off this video. So now, with that goal in mind, because I want to get as little viewers as I possibly can, let's talk about a few things. We'll talk about the Carolina Hurricanes beating the Islanders and moving on to the next round. We'll talk about the Avalanche beating the Winnipeg Jets and them moving on to the next round, if I could speak proper English. And then the Boston Bruins, beginning of the choke, mismanagement of their lineup in Game 5. They kind of let a golden opportunity slip out of their fingers, and they're playing tonight in Toronto. Right now, this recording's at 4:14, so if it's before the game, which it should be, so if some of this comes off wrong, it is what it is. So let's talk about the Carolina Hurricanes versus the New York Islanders. I have to say, very impressed with the Islanders. They showed a lot of fight. They were completely outgunned in this series. I predicted the Canes to sweep them. They did get a gentleman's sweep. They won one game. And, Varlamov earned a lot of my respect. I thought he played very well in this series. I was extremely impressed. And I think it was a mistake going with Sorokin in one of those games. I think they just should have kept with Varlamov and let it just rock because he played stellar. And while I still have a little bit of gripes with Varlamov, no, actually, you know what? No, I really don't have any gripes with him. He played really well. Do I think you can win a cup with him if he played like that and a team scored a bit more? Yeah, I do. I think Varlamov was actually pretty good. So I'm going to walk that back mid-video. Yeah, Varlamov played well. I do think Sorokin will bounce back, though. He had a rough year. I still think he has it in him. I think he's just got to reset. We've seen great goalies. I mean, Shesterkin, since the All-Star break, before the All-Star break, he was an All-Star, which, this might not be popular to say, but Shesterkin should not have been an All-Star if you're talking about performance. But since the All-Star break and on, he's had like a 9, in the plus 920 or plus like 930 save percentage. Don't have the numbers in front of me. Goaltenders can bounce back. Goaltenders do have down years, and Sorokin has proven in his time in the NHL thus far in his career, he's one of the elite goalies in the NHL, and I still think he can have that in him. As for the series itself, Islanders blocked a lot of shots, kept it defensive, made life very difficult for the most part for the Carolina Hurricanes. And, the Hurricanes made some additions in the offseason and then before the deadline with Jake Getzel. The Canes are a very stacked team, and even with all that great offensive firepower now with guys healthy, the Islanders still kept it close. Yeah, they lost in 5, but they blocked a lot of shots, had a very good 200-foot game. If the Islanders make I think if they add another piece, ideally 2 forward weapons, the Islanders have a great defense. You have Noah Dobson, Romanov, Pulak, Pelech, very good D-men on the back end. And then you have, you do have stars up front. You do have Barzal. You have Horvat, who I don't know if he'll justify that contract. We'll see. But if you can add some more weapons up front, I think the Islanders are in the situation that they should be able to be a very good team. And they should be better than they are this year. So it'll be interesting to see what they do in the offseason and who they bring in, if they can bring in anybody. As for the Carolina Hurricanes, they take care of business. They should have. They are a far superior team than the Islanders. Do I have any worries about them kind of struggling to score? No, because the Islanders were really dedicated to that defensive game, blocking shots like crazy. And they did not make life easy for the Canes. I feel very good about that team going forward. They are actually my pick to win the Stanley Cup, to win the whole thing. I just think with all the talent they have up front, on the back end, and in net, like Frederik Andersen has been terrific. And then if he stumbles, Kochetkov, I think highly about him as well. So Carolina is going to be going to the next series against the New York Rangers. And that will be a very fun series. I think it should go 6 or 7. Yeah, I'm excited to watch that one. Let's talk about the Colorado Avalanche and the Winnipeg Jets. The Winnipeg Jets lose in 5, and they win the first game 7-6. Georgiev just, he wasn't horrific or anything. There was some weird goals that win him. But you're kind of worried because Georgiev did not have a good regular season, sub 900 save percentage. I should have learned from last year, like Sergei Bobrovsky, right? He did not have a great regular season, then he just, turned it on and played really well. Obviously, those goalies have completely different pedigrees in that regard. Like Bobrovsky was a Vezina winner. But regardless, he played well enough to win this series. And I picked the Jets to win in 7. And some of that was a heart pick. I would have loved to see Winnipeg because I know some friends in Winnipeg. I just love that hockey community. I love them. They're very passionate about their team. They got it back and all that from the Atlanta Thrashers. So it's like, I wanted in my heart, but it's like with all the talent up front with the Avalanche, the only reason I mainly went with the Jets, I'm going to be honest with you, is I just wasn't sure of the Avs goaltending. Like, would Georgiev be able to make a save? And he proved me wrong. And I'm fine saying that on the record. He proved me wrong. He played very well. And, you know, with all the firepower they have, like McKinnon, Rantanen, on the back end, Kale McCarr, Taves. Nichushkin up front had a terrific series. Middlestat, the guy they ended up acquiring from Buffalo in exchange for Byram, I liked a lot what I saw from him. He's going to be so great on that roster long term if they can get everything figured out. The Avalanche, my main concern and question mark was in goal. And if Georgiev can give you above average goaltending, I feel like this is kind of the same thing I've said about the Edmonton Oilers. Just good enough goaltending. They have enough firepower and they have enough good pieces now in a defensive system. Like, they're going to be very difficult to beat. They are. And, they took care of business. Beat them in 5. As for the Jets, I mean, what do you do? Like, what do you do at this point? You did sign Hellebuyck. I mean, Hellebuyck did not have a great series statistically. And, I'm not going to sit here and say he was the worst goalie. He was horrific. Still, he wasn't able to steal you a game. And I'm not going to blame him because a lot of the defensive miscues that happened in front of him is not his fault. The Jets, I don't know what you do here because it's like insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. And they just were horrific in their own end, letting just guys completely free, wide open, dangerous areas. And the Avs made him pay every single time. So, I don't. Do you make a major switch up? Do you change a lot of things up? Like, well, shoot, this is not working. Do we make a major change? Do we switch things up? I'm going to be very intrigued to see what they do going forward. Is there going to be major changes coming with the Jets? Because clearly, right now with this roster, they're not good enough, and maybe they need to have some type of a culture change. I don't know. So that'll be very interesting going forward. Wrap up the video. Let's talk about the Bruins. The Bruins, they choke. Excuse me, Game 5 choke. That was bad. That was a bad performance. Yeah, they took it to overtime. If Jeremy Swayman wasn't Jesus Christ reincarnated in that game, they would not have taken that to overtime. They would have not taken that to overtime. That was not a good performance. They played awful. Only 2 shots in the first period. Now, I will say for the Bruins, to be fair to them, in the third, and especially in overtime, and that was the crazy thing, in overtime, they looked so much better. In overtime, it was like they were actually pushing the play, getting some good cycles, and unfortunately, Tavares drives to the net. Loose puck goes right to Nyes. Swayman can't get over, and it's not his fault. Swayman played amazing in this game. The lone Bruins goal was a lucky one to Frederick. That was a gift. That was an absolute gift. But the Bruins they made some alignment changes, and after you had a solid performance the game before, why do you make any changes? Why don't you just stick with the same lineup? And like Barzal gets into the lineup, and that's not about anything about Barzal. I like him as a 4th line guy, very good hands in close. I think he can be valuable, and I think he should get playoff time. But why, if it's not broke, why fix it? If it's not broke, why try to fix it? Just stick with the same lineup, rock it back to back. I think benching Beecher was stupid because Beecher's one of our best face-off guys. There was a lot of things I didn't like there. But the one thing I'll commend Montgomery, he did stick with Swayman, and they better not go to Allmark because Swayman looked fantastic in that game. But it does have you worried as a Bruins fan. It's like, you choked last series away 3-1 against the Florida Panthers. And I know it's a different team, but the Maple Leafs beat you without their best player. And if he's back in the lineup, this Maple Leafs team, who I did pick to beat the Bruins in 7, even though I don't want that to be the case, that's just how I felt. They have talent. Can we just stop pretending they don't have talent on that roster? And if they can get confidence and they can get going, that is a dangerous team to play against. Yes, they have some holes on the back end. Not even gonna deny that. But if Joseph Wall, who looked really sharp, wasn't like he was overly tested early in the game, but he made some really good saves. If Joseph Wall, who I think is a better goaltender than Samsonov, I heard something from Felger, Wall couldn't beat Samsonov. I'm like, first off, Wall's kind of a younger goaltender, and Samsonov got hot towards the end of the season. I think Wall is ultimately a better goaltender, so Felger, as usual, doesn't know anything what he's talking about. 98.5 The Sports Hub, legend. But yeah, I mean, this if the Leafs win tonight in Toronto, we could be seeing a repeat in a history back-to-back years. And the Bruins, I think all the pressure on them is to win tonight. They don't want to go to a Game 7. Yeah, you're back home, but man, they've had struggles closing out series. So that's going to be interesting to see going forward. I think Monty made a mistake kind of switching anything. But I usually do the clips. I usually do the videos. I like to do these from time to time. I'm still going to do these from time to time. I'm going to do these on the boat as well. Hopefully the audio wasn't terrible when I was on the boat for the past week. I enjoy doing this. I kind of like having... I don't like to be just strictly a clips channel. I like to have a little bit longer conversation. And this video will not get any views, and that's fine. But I believe if I want to keep improving, getting better, and having fun with it, and that's the main thing. Just having a lot of fun with this type of content. This like in-person, longer form stuff, which I'm hoping to start a podcast, a hockey podcast soon. That will be it. This is just a lot. This is just enjoyable for me. I can sit here for hours talking hockey, without having to spend like an hour or two on several different videos doing clips. Which the clips are always going to be here on the channel because it's first off, people like it. Second off, I enjoy kind of showing clips and going into it. The only downside is like when I record all these games in full when I'm home, I wish I could show more footage. And I think for me, I'm going to be going forward. I'm definitely going to start a series on my channel, on my Patreon. I can't put it on YouTube membership because of the copyright, I don't believe. But I just, because I like, for example, a video I really want to make, and I'm rambling towards the end of the video, but who cares, it's my video. I want to do like a very detailed video about the 1-3-1 and how the Oilers kind of dissected it and how they kind of broke it apart. I want to go back and like kind of record it in full and do like an actual breakdown video because I've done that before on the channel. That's some nerdy stuff I think that most people won't like, but hey, why not? I think it'd be fun to do. So appreciate all the new subscribers, by the way. You guys have been fantastic. I'm actually kind of shocked with how many new people are coming in and how many the videos just keep getting traction. Without you guys, this wouldn't be as fun. And we might disagree. You might agree. You might think I'm an idiot at times. You might think I'm smart, which, by the way, that is a mistake. You never think I'm smart. But I thoroughly enjoy you guys coming to the channel and just starting a dialogue. So I'm Captain Paul. Appreciate you. Drop a like, comment, and all that good stuff. I'll see you in the next one.